JJJinks!
Truck Stop Knives!
Was this in somebody's ass? JJJinks! Truck Stop Knives! Oh boy, do I have a good one today. There's a bit of a story behind this knife that I'm going to open and review for you today. I sort of got interested in historical knives, knives that are very unique by some kind of circumstance. For example, in the space program, did you know that the Gemini capsules actually carried a survival kit on board? When the capsules re-enter the atmosphere, they jettison their survival kit, provided that everything's going okay. It's extra weight that they want to get rid of. I get it. So at the bottom of the ocean are a whole bunch of survival knives made just for astronauts. You can still buy them. They sell them for like $600, but I don't want to pay that much, first of all, and it wouldn't be quite the same as having the real deal. So I got this crazy idea in my head of buying this. This package comes to us from Russia, and in it is a prison shank. What do you say we open it? Rule number 1 of opening a package, you've got to choose the knife. And for this package, it's a special package, and so I'm going to use a special knife shown here. This is a Lewis Martin custom knife. This was a Christmas gift from my brother, and he had this whole story about how he got his hands on it, but basically there was a small batch of knives that were made for, I guess, a hunting club or something, and they were thinking about ordering, a whole mess of them to distribute to their members, and I guess they just didn't like the design, and they rejected it. So somebody bought the rejects and resold them. I really, really like this sheath. This is actually good leather. For those of you who don't know, genuine leather, okay, genuine is actually the grade of the leather, and it is like the second to worst, if not the worst grade. So when you see the words on something, genuine leather, that's not a good thing. It's all marketing. I don't know what grade of leather this is, but it smells good, it feels good, it's nice leather, and I like it. And you got this little pouch to put, I don't know what in, sharpening stone, survival kit, whatever you want. But let's have a look at the knife itself. Now, I did show this in a video opening it over Christmas. I forgot the name of this style of blade where you have like the 2-stage cutting areas, and it is a Damascus steel. There's no particular pattern in it. It's not raindrop or whatever. There's lots of different kinds, but beautiful nonetheless. I also really like the handle. Check out the wood. I don't know what kind of wood this is, but it's got real nice marbling, I guess you could say. And then you have alternating colored laminate wood over here. It's got some file work in the back. I was expecting this package in like April, but for some reason it got here fast. It was like just a few weeks, and I love these stamps. This is just like the leaf and the scroll work. It's Russian. I guess that's how you say post. And what else do they got? I think that says vodka. Shall we use this Tanto blade to cut it open? Now, I looked around online on how to get my hands on a real life, honest to goodness prison shank, and it pretty much can't be done. There was somebody on, I don't know, Etsy or something selling their collection, but they were like a retired cop or an investigator or something, prison guard, who knows, and it was like $5,000. It was a real nice piece. It's basically a giant shadow box, and that was pretty much all I found, except for on eBay, they had a few listings. One was for a prison shank that was very obviously fake. It was in a plastic tube with tape around it, and the tape said evidence on it. That's not how they store these things. There is a story behind this knife. I did ask the seller if he could fill me in on how they came to possess it, if they knew which prison it came from, and so he told me in slightly broken English. It's this town in like the western part of Russia. It's a really small town, but it has like 4 prisons, and one of them is a work prison. And I guess the story is that his friend's brother got caught stealing animal feed and ended up being thrown into this prison. And in order to survive, that guy made this shank, and I don't know how it got out of the prison, but we're talking about Russia, so these things can be done. Then the brother gave it to the friend of the person who sold it to me, and then like the original prison guy, I guess, passed away, and then the brother didn't want it anymore, so he gave it away. And then that guy, I guess, needed some money, and so posted this online for $24. Now, it's the internet. I have no way of knowing if this is real or if his story is to be believed, but I will choose to believe it because, darn it, I want to own a prison shank. This packaging is interesting. It's like, kind of reminds me of like a popsicle. Now, he said it was made out of a piece of scrap metal, so I don't know. I have no way of knowing what kind of steel. Oh, it's foam padding, okay. Don't know what kind of steel this is made out of, but, you know, Russian steel, I guess. And this is the part that really interested me, was the handle is made out of a long length of wire. I'm assuming copper wire. The very end of this thing looks a little bit rusty, but that's to be expected. A little bit of dirt in the handle. Okay, here we go. Let's see what the blade is. I feel like an archaeologist. Wow, look at this thing. That is amazing. So yeah, this is a Gorbachev era Russian prison shank. You can see some rust, some scratches. Kind of a beat up edge. I'm gonna be real careful not to cut myself on this, because who knows what I could get. Now, I was tempted to include this in my weekly review series, to carry it with me at work and use it for a week. Then I kind of thought better of it because, well, it's a fixed blade knife, and also I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that unless I like kind of sterilized it, but I don't want to get rid of any of the patina that's on it. I wonder if it was ever used. You know, as far as a knife in general goes, the texture of the wire is actually not that bad. It is kind of grippy, but that could be the random filth. And not much of a slicer, but definitely a stabby knife. But that's okay, because these things are kind of made for one-time use, so to speak. And I do like the sheath that it came with. This is just a whole board into some foam board. There we go. Stroznia, bitches. How did they conceal this? Was this in somebody's ass? Well, maybe the handle. I can't imagine being in a Russian prison in the 80s and being so afraid for your life that you've got to fashion this out of anything you can get your hands on. Now, I don't know what they made it from. You can almost kind of see like the wire goes into something, but I'm not sure. Like this could have been a utensil, maybe a butter knife or something. They described it as scrap metal, so, well, this is definitely going to be a great addition to my collection as a conversation piece, as a curiosity. Thank you, Gorbachev, for imprisoning people. and making them want to make things like this. Because now I have one. This has been JJJinks! Ostanovka Grooves of Ikanaji!